Hello everybody, AJ Ryzik here. Today we're taking a look at Netrunner 15 Prometheus. Now, if you're not familiar with the Netrunner family of distributions, this is a KDE based distribution. Essentially, you've got two lines, so to speak. You've got the rolling release model, which is based on Manjaro KDE, and essentially the Netrunner team they take Manjaro KDE, they tweak it, they add some software, add some themes, all that kind of stuff, and then boom, you've got Netrunner rolling release. What we're looking at is Netrunner based on a traditional release model, and it is based on Ubuntu, which is the KDE version of Ubuntu. Now, what's really neat or unique or groundbreaking, or I'm not sure how you want to say it, but Netrunner 15 is based on KDE 5.2. That's right, no more KDE 4 series. They are grabbing a bull by the horns, and they're either one of the first, if not the first distribution that has a release where KDE 5 or 5 series is their desktop environment. On KDE 4 or Ubuntu 14.10, yes, you could set it up with KDE 5 series, but that wasn't the standard. I wouldn't want standard distribution or standard release, however you want to say that. It was kind of an optional thing, more so that you could get your hands on it, try it out, see what it looks like, all that kind of stuff. But here, there is no option for going back to the KDE 4 series. Now, I will say that with the Netrunner 15, they have set it up that this is not going to be a long-term support, and in a lot of ways, this is kind of your first look at Netrunner with KDE 5.2. So that being said, once again, I got to give them big thumbs up for being willing to give KDE 5.2 a try and make it as the only option for Netrunner 15. So since KDE 5.2 is so new, I was expecting to find a lot of glitches, bugs, problems, all that kind of stuff. And I've got to say that the problems I've had have been minimal, and at least I don't think they are related to 5.2. The first issue I ran into was with the installation, and once again, I don't think this is a KDE 5.2 issue. I think this goes back to the Ubuntu installer, because I think I've seen it in Ubuntu as well. And what happened was, when I did the installation, because I have multiple hard drives on this computer, I'm rocking multiple operating systems because I'm testing different systems and whatnot. I went to the manual partitioning option as opposed to the guided partition. So after setting up my partitions, I went and clicked install, and it got hung up at the partitioning. Tried this 4 or 5 times. Every time, always froze up. I even tried going and manually partitioning with gparted before starting the installer, and going that route, thinking that, well, maybe it's the whole partitioning thing that was causing problems. No, it still got froze up. So I'm not quite sure what the issue was there. What I ended up doing so that I can install this on my system was I disconnected all the other hard drives, so I just had my testing hard drive installed, and then went through the standard setup, the guided partitioning, if you will, and then the installation went perfect. And like I said, I think that I've seen this before in Ubuntu, so it may just be because they're using the same installer and there's a script issue there or something like that. But so that was my first glitch. But basically, once I got onto the system, I really didn't have any problems, with the exception of one program. There is, let me find it here. Yeah, this, and I've never used it before, so no experience with this program. Etrica, I guess is how you pronounce it, and it's basically online search for music. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Well, so I'm doing a little search for music, and I'm big into country, so pull up Trace Atkins, and I go and look at all this music here, and I double click on something, and I get this playback error message, and it starts scrolling through all these different titles. And sometimes it would can start playing, sometimes it wouldn't. As you can see, it finally did their start playing. But what, like I said, I'm new to that program, so maybe it's a problem in the program, maybe it's a problem interfacing with my system, maybe it's a problem interfacing with KDE 5.2. I don't know, but that is basically the one software glitch that I've run into so far. Other than that, everything else seems to be working great, which once again, being KDE 5.2 is so new, 2 thumbs up on that one. So I've got the Netrunner homepage open here so we can take a look at some of the changes to Netrunner and all that kind of stuff. And I'll leave a link down below in the video description so you can click on that and take a look at this. First thing I want to point out, this is 32-bit, or I'm sorry, 64-bit only, no 32-bit. And they got a note here, note the KDE 4-based Frontier, which is Netrunner 14. It's going to continue to be available and supported until 2016 for both 32 and 64-bit. And reading through this, I didn't see where they said anything about future versions having 32-bit or whether they're going to, from this point forward, just stick with 64-bit. If they are going to stick with just 64-bit, it does somewhat make sense. And I can see pros and cons to only offering 64-bit and also to offering both 64 and 32-bit. Fewer and fewer systems are not capable of 64-bit. Even if you do have less than 4 gigs of RAM, on most newer systems, they're still able to use 64-bit. So I can kind of see that, and by not worrying about 32-bit, it does save them a lot of time and resources, and that they don't have to worry about if this is compatible with a lot of that older hardware that was 32-bit only. But I don't know. Anyway, just kind of moving on, taking a look at what we've got here, the new stuff. Like I said before, KDE 5.2, which is based on KDE Framework 5.7 and Qt 5.4. And I pulled up KDE 5.2 and talks a little bit about some of the new components there. And once again, I'll leave links so that you can read through all this yourself. They added Blue Devil, range of desktop components to manage Bluetooth devices, KSSHA, or maybe that's KSSH AskPass for managing SSH keys. Still have Muon for installing and managing the software, but that has been updated. Updated login themes, updated K-screen, GTK application style has been updated. Just, tons and tons of updates since they started on this the path down the KDE 5 series. And coming back over here to the stuff about Netrunner. So we now have we've got this Thunderbird Plasma, which has been added along with Firefox Plasma. Basically, you can see the theming that we've got here. It matches the rest of the theming that we have for the whole KDE / Netrunner theming. Let me pull up Thunderbird so you can see that. And you can see we've got, you know, matching theming here. It goes along with the, you know, the Firefox theming. Everything's kind of got a unified look, and which is always on a lot of distributions you run into that issue when you're looking at Firefox and Thunderbird, in that you pull them up and they don't look like they fit in. So, you know, they've taken the time here to make sure that they do match. Okay, where was I? Okay, we looked at that. I already showed you that atrophy for online music searching, and like I said, there's that glitch there. I don't know what the issue is. Like I said, maybe it's with it's just not compatible with my system. Maybe it's a KDE issue. I don't know why we're getting that error message here. Gmusic browser, and this is a pretty neat music browser. I was looking at it a little while ago. And very configurable. Go here to main and settings. Here you can go and add different folders for your library, audio settings, layout. This is what I really thought was neat, in that a lot of times with your music browsers, you're basically stuck with whatever layout they've given you. Not here. You've got all kinds of different layouts that you can pick. You know, there's browser style, just all kinds of different ways that you can view your music list. And as you can see, options galore, which has always been the defining characteristic of KDE, is that tons and tons of options, which is in a lot of ways is a double-edged sword. It's neat that you can tweak everything to the nth degree. At the same time, at least myself, and I know there's a lot of other people that are running the same thing, that you get so involved with tweaking things and setting it up so it's just right that you are spending hours and hours and maybe even days getting your system set up just the way that you want it. Let's see, radio tray for minimal and unobtrusive radio listening. Screencasting. This is the first distribution that I have ever gotten on, and everything that I need, that I normally use for my screencasting, everything was already there. They had Cheese for the webcam. They had Simple Screen Recorder for the screen recording. I mean, just, you know, everything was there. Handbrake is included, so if you want to take your DVDs and burn them to your hard drive, which is something that I've been doing lately, trying to I'm taking all those DVDs, and so that they don't get scratched up and all that, burning them to a hard drive that is on our home network, so that no matter what computer you're on in the house, you can go and access all those movies. But and like I said, you don't have to worry about getting those DVDs scratched up anymore, or Blu-rays, either way. So anyway, they got Handbrake included by default. Disk for formatting, burning ISOs, and just looking down here at the list of of other stuff that we've got. We're on the 3.16 series for the kernel, Plasma 5.2, KDE Framework 5.7, Qt 5.4, Firefox version 35, Thunderbird version 31, VLC 2.2, LibreOffice is the latest at 4.4, Krita and Carbon, which are part of the Calligra series, 2.8.5. That is the latest. I mean, everything is the latest in the series. So, and that has been, and this isn't Netrunner, but a lot of other distributions. You know, you get their latest distribution, and then you look at the software list, and the software is not the latest version of whatever the software is. You know, and it's like, come on, you just put this out there. Why aren't you using the latest and greatest? So if you're new to the whole KDE 5 series, if you've used Ubuntu or any other KDE distribution in the past, you're going to be fairly familiar with things. The changes that have taken place, they haven't been so huge that you're not going to be able to find your way around. You're going to find that how you tweak something or how you change something in the past, it's either going to be the same or similar enough that you'll be able to fumble your way through things. We still, let's go to desktop settings here. We've still got, let me switch back to images. You got not a huge selection, but a decent selection of wallpaper images here. Or you can go and switch to a slideshow so that it'll change every so often to whatever the next wallpaper is. And let's pull open our system settings here. And as you can see, if you remember KDE 4, KDE 5, as far as the system settings here, it looks extremely similar. Excuse me. The widget style, window decorations, all this stuff is going to seem somewhat familiar. We've got a fair number of widget styles available, and it's nice that you can play around with the different ones and see what you prefer. And then before it'll allow you to move on, it'll ask you if you want to keep the settings that you just changed or tweaked. Come here to window decorations, and once again, you see there's a variety available. If you want something that makes it look like Gnome style, boom, there you go, right there. And once again, a variety of styles, not a huge number, but we do have to recognize the fact that KDE 5 series being what it is, there's not a huge number of themes out there for, but the list is growing basically by the day. Of course, once again, we got desktop theming here, cursor theme colors, icons, all that kind of stuff is going to be familiar if you've used KDE in the past, as well as most of the other settings here. So not a huge change there. Like I said, familiar enough that you'll be able to fumble your way through. You can go and add widgets to your desktop just like before. Click that, and you've got all kinds of widgets that you can add. Let's go and add our calendar here. Now that we've added it, we can go and make some tweaks here. And you click on it, and you get your calendar to pop up. Very nice. Keyboard shortcuts, just like everything else in the world of KDE, very customizable. A big part of the KDE5 series seems to be refinement and better looking. I was maybe not better looking, but more modern looking graphics and desktop and so on as compared to the KDE4 series. Um, I really like the way that our panels and the desktop and whatnot is looking. Um, the like when the calendar pops up, I really like the look of the calendar. Our little status and notifications here. That's I like how that pops up and how it looks when it shows up. All these different settings right in here. So if we come over to the volume, boom, all of our volume settings pop up here. Whereas if you are in a lot of distributions, you'll have to go and open up a menu, then that opens up another dialog box that opens up another menu so that you can tweak the volume of, say, your headset. No, not here. I mean, everything for the volume right there. uh, you know Very nice and neat, easy to work with. All of our connections, all this, what's in your CD drive, all that, and all your removable drives, all, like I said, it seems more refined, more modern than the KDE4 series. And I think over the next year or so, as more development goes into this KDE5 series, really, really going to like what we see here. Well, I think that about finishes this video up. Really like this distribution. I was expecting to find all kinds of bugs and glitches and issues since we're running KDE 5.2, but we really did not see that. And like I said earlier, the installer issue, I think that relates back to the Ubuntu installer, and then that one piece of software. I don't know whether that was the software, whether it didn't play nice with my system, if it doesn't play nice with KDE. I don't know. But once again, other than those two little issues, everything has worked flawlessly. So big thumbs up, not only to the Netrunner team for putting together such a great distribution, but also to the KDE development team for such great libraries and working out the bugs, the glitches, all that kind of stuff. As always, give us a big old thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe if you are not a subscriber, and be sure to leave comments, questions, all that kind of stuff down below. As always, I will take suggestions for software to be reviewed, operating systems to be reviewed, all that kind of stuff. And I will see you all on the next video. Thanks a lot.